if this tournament were to start after week 11 of the regular season, these are the teams we think have the best chance and what it takes to make it to Omaha. First off, I think we can both agree Tennessee is that team to beat right now. If they can keep their heads screwed on, then they could run away with the national title. If they can just keep everything together.
Yep. Obviously the most talented team in baseball right now. And yeah, like you said, just got to keep their heads straight. Not much else to be said about it. Clear favorite at this point.
Yep. Second, I think we both had them in last week as well, Oregon State.
Yep. Oregon State is ahead of the Pac-12 race right now. Looking like there's a good chance they lock that up, although they do have a brutal stretch here in these last 3 series. But if they come out on top in those series, looking like they'll come away with the Pac-12 title and certainly a team that could contend to be in Omaha.
Yeah, they have a great balance of pitching and offense and is a reason why they're able to stay as consistent as they have been in a pretty tumultuous year so far. But after that, I'm going to go with Oklahoma State. After struggling against TCU, they've bounced back in a dominant fashion and show that they are also the class of their respective conference in the Big 12.
Yeah, Oklahoma State, just huge series win over Texas there. They're showing that consistency and the resiliency after losing that TCU series. Hard to keep them out. One of the preseason favorites, and at this point, they're one of the favorites at this point in the year, too.
Yeah, definitely. Then for me, going back to the SEC, Arkansas, even though they haven't been as consistent or dominant as Tennessee, they've put together a great season. And like we said earlier, it just doesn't seem like they've put everything together, which is scary. But they're sitting atop of the SEC West right now, and they haven't looked their best. So you can't overlook a team that still has potential to grow.
Yep. Clear number 2 team in the SEC throughout this year, and if they get hitting on all cylinders, man, team to watch out for, and they could certainly usurp Tennessee as the best team in the country if they start clicking.
Yeah, and I'm assuming we also have this team in common with Virginia Tech as one of the teams that could make it to Omaha at this point. They've been hot, potentially one of the hottest teams in the nation, and I think they've now taken over Miami's spot for the best team in the ACC at this moment.
Yep. Class of the ACC at the moment, hottest team in that conference, and certainly playing like it ever since that loss to Georgia Tech. They've been dominant, and can't really see them slowing down anytime soon. And although they do pass Miami as the hottest team in the ACC, I also did keep Miami in my 8 for Omaha. They've been consistent most of the year and have been one of the best teams in the country throughout the season.
Yeah, I also kept them in. That was a spot where I wasn't super certain who I was going to go with. I feel like Texas A&M deserves a shout in. I feel like Miami was the last spot I was filling in, that eighth spot. But for now, I left Miami in that spot just because they've had an impressive overall resume so far. Texas A&M is hot, so if they can keep it up, I feel like they do deserve a spot, but right now Miami has just been consistent enough to stay in that 8 for Omaha. But jumping back to the Pac-12, I guess for me, Stanford was the team that I decided to keep in, even though they've also looked a bit iffy. There is definitely a cause for concern surrounding the bullpen issues, but with 2 very, very good starters that can help kind of counteract that problem. And if they can go deep into games, then they can really have a chance of going very far in the tournament. And if that offense is in rhythm, then it's hard to stop them.
Yes, and we finally have a break here in our 8 for Omaha. I did drop Stanford out of my 8, but you mentioned the team I stuck in there, Texas A&M. Arguably one of the hottest teams in the country, up there with Virginia Tech. Steaming hot right now and looking like they may contend to potentially be the second best team in the SEC if they keep going the way they're going. Hard to deny them at this point, and with the inconsistencies from Stanford's bullpen this past weekend, I had Texas A&M jumping in there.
Makes sense. And then for the final spot, I guess I went with Gonzaga. Also, similarly thought Maryland deserves a shout out. They have a pretty similar layout of their team, just a team that's built for a weekend series. And I feel like for Gonzaga, we've said this from week one, and if they can stay on the top of the bracket for a regional, they can go far and do very well in a super.
Yep, I also left Gonzaga in there in my 8 for Omaha. Yeah, like we've said the whole year, relies on the pitching staff, got to stay in the winning part of the regional, and then just get to that super regional. So that's why we see him in there at this point, probably the best mid-major in the country.
Definitely. It's a tight race between them and Southern Miss, but with that weekend series loss that Southern Miss had, Gonzaga just edges them out for that spot right now. But yeah, I feel like that's it for our 8 for Omaha. I feel like this can definitely change next week. There are a few spots that are up for contention, but we'll have to see how the results play out over the next week. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, we would really appreciate a like and subscribe for more college baseball content.